episode 4 of Wait, What with Luke. I am Luke. Thank you for coming and hanging out again weekly every Wednesday at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10. I don't know how times work. It's later for the East Coast. If you're over there, hey, what's up? You can start. But yeah, my name's Luke. This is what we're doing. This is the 4th episode. And the first 3, we were doing a certain thing, a little weedy, a little something. And then this last episode, it kind of changed a little bit. And so we're pivoting a little bit. Because, this is all new territory. Like a lot of comics, we're not used to doing this sort of thing. We're usually in front of live audiences. So what I was doing before sort of would have worked better in front of a live audience, I think. And so I'm just trying to adapt, trying to move forward. And with last week's episode, kind of got into some serious conversations, and I enjoyed that. Like I legitimately do. And I think we need to do more of that, because I don't know if you guys have been on the internet lately, but everyone sucks at talking to anyone. So I think it'd be good to bring up some sort of subjects that might be a little bit touchy, a little bit uncomfortable, and have conversations with some fellow comics about them that might not agree with me, or I might not agree with them. But my intention is to use this as a teaching moment, a teachable moment. As a white man in America, I need to learn shit. Maybe you do, maybe you disagree, and let's figure out why. And let's do that, because we're all in this shit together until we die from a pandemic. It's gonna be fun. So trying to mix it up a little bit. Last episode, my buddy Greg Beachler was on the show, and he didn't talk as much as he wanted to, because I didn't tell him he could interrupt. So I brought him back. He's probably going to be the regular co-host, because there's not enough bald, shiny heads every single Wednesday. So yeah, please welcome Greg Beachler to the internet stage.
Yeah, all right, man. They already probably see me, so I'm not gonna yell.
They see you now, Greg. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. I want to be the chill guy in the room.
Oh, you want to be
all spasmatic? Yeah, I don't want to flip out though. I'm good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. It makes sense why you'd be chill, because I've seen you smoke how many bowls leading up to this?
Oh, I don't know. A lot.
A lot? What do we? I'm immediately going back into the old format of the show. I'm like, what'd you smoke? What'd you do there, bud?
Oh no, I got I don't have more anxiety doing this than I ever had on stage, which is creepy because it's just me.
For real, like. This is the 4th or 5th time I've done a handful of these shows, and I'm more anxious going live looking at my computer than I have been in since I started doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, you imagine if you could like see yourself doing stand-up, you probably wouldn't do it that much. If you were just in the crowd like, oh Jesus. Oh, that's what it's like looking at yourself. You're just like, oh my God, dude, you look like that? For real?
Yeah. You're like, oh, you think that was a good face to make at the end of that punchline, you fucking hack? Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Sorry, there is going to be swear words, children. Cool, man, but I'm good. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're doing this with me. You've had a good week. I don't know. What do? We play catch up. You started running today at 4 a.m. in the morning like a goddamn you say I'm a maniac. Dude, you wake up at 4 a.m. and go running.
I said you could be the maniac character that we play on this show. I know I'm a psycho, man, but yeah, I just got out of the shower like a week ago. I was like, I should run 100 miles in July. Just do that. So yeah, I just started doing that today.
I was gonna do that too today, but like my legs were a little tired, so I just didn't. So I'm pretty sure I'm just not gonna do it at all. So there's that. I tried, dude. I thought about it, and that's like half the battle.
Cool. That is happening. Well,
this was good opening banter. Fuck it, it's free. Suck a dick. But great. We talked yesterday, and I was thinking I still want to have like a clip, something silly to start things off for the show. And you told me, I'm just setting you up. You set up the video, man. No, we'll get in.
Oh my God. All right. First off, I'd like to say, if you think this is problematic, I apologize. This is just a video that was sent with no auto-tune, no beat. It was just one certain rapper, just rapping just by himself in a video, and it sounded ridiculous. It made me laugh for like 3 hours. So here's Tekashi Tech 9, no auto-tune, just himself.
Take it back. I know you like me. You want to find me? You want to part of your part, don't invite. Don't get a coffee, the good. Oh, yeah, I know that bad.
Calling master. Yo, what? Stripping like a rasta. Taking a nurse when it's sneaking on the rasta. Well, still they're gonna have to send the best fighter for the chant. When I come out of the sneak, bitches start coming out of the sweet, bitches start coming.
What?
That was way longer than the 22-second clip I had.
Oh man,
I didn't know there was like a whole video, man. That was wild.
Brandon said it would be a good idea to play the whole thing. He's like, it's a minute long, that'll be fine. And then I didn't actually think about how you would have to watch you watching that video for a minute straight, and that was just another added layer of delightfulness for me. It's funny though, dude. Like you're an older dude in your 30s, and that's literally, you said that's what you hear every single time you hear any sort of mumble rap.
Basically, man. Just I don't know what's like. What, dude? You don't like me? Anyway, that's a little stupid, man.
Okay, all right.
Freeze.
So, but that does sort of lead in. Okay, it's gonna get halfway serious after that fucking cluster. Because what's the fucking guy named Takashi? Like he had beef with like he went to prison. He snitched on a bunch of people. Didn't he also, like, wasn't he like a pedophile or something ridiculous? You didn't hear about that? Yeah.
I don't know that. I know Kodak Black had a thing with a 15-year-old. I don't know about Takashi though. Isn't he like 17 though? How old is he?
I don't know. I think he's very short. I know that much. But something along those lines. I remember Chris D'Elia made a big thing. Like he had a recurring, like, would make digs at him. And then, like, ironically, like last week, Chris D'Elia got in trouble for like a very similar thing. Had a bunch of women came forward with some allegations and some screenshots of him talking to them, grooming them. And I mean, he released his own things, but it's not looking good. He got dropped by his agency and a bunch of stuff like that. Then a bunch of other stories of working comedians like Jeff Ross, Joey Coco Diaz, they all pop in the mix. So the thought that I had for this week is just to have some women in comedy on, and we'll just kind of talk about their experience with that. And it might be serious, might be uncomfortable, but hopefully we can make it funny, maybe funnier than that last segment was going to be. So I'll just introduce them now, and then we'll hop into it. Please welcome to the internet stage of Vanessa Don and Tori Poole.
What up, y'all?
Hey.
Let's not bring you in. Vanessa, we'll figure it out. You're not on the mix yet, but we can hear you.
Okay.
Hey.
There we go. It's fun having to rely on technology to just say hello to people. Weird. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
Great.
Good.
Woo!
You pumped up. Did you enjoy watching Greg and I fumble bum our way through that?
Oh, I felt so uncomfortable, but you look great.
Thank you. It's the
That
good.
was looking.
Yeah.
I also felt very uncomfortable.
I like
Vanessa
how
just looked uncomfortable
Greg
for
was
everything.
trying to do this, I think. That was funny. He's like, yeah.
I cut the video.
Like, no, man, you gotta ride it out.
Yeah, it was awkward. It was awful. Maybe we won't do that next time. We'll play it. We'll talk about some things, you know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. It's all work in progress. It's all work in progress. And also, like, I should have known, because you hadn't had to deal with exactly that sort of thing, like just starting off with people staring at you while you're doing a thing so much. We'll figure it out. We'll fix it in post. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to both of you, and I thank you for coming to the show. Yeah, let's get into it. Like, Vanessa, you just got back from Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You started comedy there, correct?
Yeah. Back in Oklahoma.
How's the scene there?
I mean, it's smaller than the Seattle scene, of course. It's a lot more relaxed though. You know, like almost everyone is friends.
Really?
You know?
That
Yeah,
sounds insane to me.
not too much beef. I mean, a little bit here and there, but it's like if you have a problem with somebody, you kind of just handle it and then move on. Not like a long drawn out process. You feel me?
Tori's
I do kind of.
Tori, is your scene like that? Are you guys pretty? You get along, or is it pretty beefy?
I don't. I feel like it's like it's maybe mid. I don't know. I'm also in some other groups, so I always get to see like other drama. Like I feel like Las Vegas has a lot more drama in their scene. But like ours is kind of mid
Mid
in
level.
San Antonio. I'm in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, San Antonio. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it seems like that is just an inevitability with a bunch of artists whose job is to talk. Eventually, they're going to be like, "I'm going to talk. I'm going to be loud about something," and then egos get involved.
We had like a old one of those what do you call them? I guess like gatekeeper old Mexican dudes that just really like he was in a position at the club that he just fucking he hated women and that was a thing. Ugh.
Is he still there?
No. Now it's like new management and they're all like badass and it's like it's weird to be treated like a person, you know, as a woman.
That's good.
Yeah.
What led to him leaving? Did he just like sell the place, or did he get fired?
I think he got removed after like it just came to light that everyone had had similar experiences. Like he I feel like when I don't know how it was for you, Vanessa, but when I started comedy in San Antonio, it was like everybody had an opinion immediately. Like first open mic I ever did, before I even went on stage, there was a guy that was like, nobody wants to hear about your vaginas. Like who's been in it, who's been out of it. Like just we already have a Schumer. I was like, hi, I'm Tori. It was fucking weird. Like just like full of unsolicited advice. And then I feel like that person at the main club just perpetuated that. Like just gross stuff. Like the first time he reviewed my stuff, he told me to try to find one dude in the audience. He's like, you got to focus on one dude. You got to look at them. You got to make them think they can fuck you. And that's how you get them. And I was like, well, what do you think of my jokes? Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like,
what about everyone else in the audience? You just got that one joke?
No, I just got one fan. If you can reach one of them.
And he's gonna be really disappointed if you don't fuck him after the show.
Yeah. And he's like, watch out for girls, and just like telling us how to dress and stuff like that. It was just ladies of the night showcase. Like, it was fucking stupid. And he's not at the club anymore. And now they have like new management, and they're like respectful. There's contracts. You actually get paid. He was corrupt. I guess I can't, and it wasn't even that long ago. It's only been like 3.5 years that I've been doing comedy in the city. So 3 years, something like that.
Have you dealt with anything similar to that, Vanessa? When you're
Yeah,
out
definitely, especially like the how to dress, because like at first I didn't know you weren't supposed to wear shorts on stage. It's like 100 degrees in Oklahoma. Of course, I'm gonna be wearing shorts. And then they're like, you can't do that. So I was like, fuck it, let me just wear dresses. And then they were like, you can't wear that. Like, if you wear a dress, nobody's gonna listen to anything you have to say. They're just gonna be looking at you.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, like, who wrote any of those specific rules? Like, because
Some old dude.
Some old dude for sure.
Probably. But I'm just saying, like, it's. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's dumb because it's like, yo, man, it's people have seen ankles before, they've seen calves before. Like, it's not. They're not gonna be like, I don't know how words work, because I see part of your flash. Like, it's idiotic.
But I feel like there is an opposite to it. I don't know, man. I feel like it's old people, right? It's old people, and then it's people that think that they're well. There is a hierarchy, I'm sure, right? Some people would suck up for benefits for that hierarchy, right? Because everybody's trying to get time and shit, and I just didn't like the whole woman the shit fest, you know? Like if you came in and you weren't smiling, it's like immediately like you're mad at me, like they're just projecting, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say when I go up on stage. Like, leave me alone. Or kissing my hair. That was something. Have you ever had anybody like kiss your hair? What the fuck, dude?
I thought somebody kissed my head.
Yeah.
Look at Greg and Luke like hair.
Yeah.
You're like, we've had
like
people kiss where it should be.
Kiss it? Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. Your beard? I don't know. Like.
Nah, that's people. I mean, probably not to the same level, but yeah, definitely. When I had a larger beard, people would just grab it and like do things to it, and you're like, it's attached to my face.
Daddy, chill. Like, I don't know.
But probably not in the same way where like no one like kissed my hair or the back of my head sensually. Like that's like some creep level shit.
That is creep level shit.
But I had told the guy like several times, he was just an open micer, and I was like, Ace, I don't want you to fucking touch me, you know? And it wasn't until another, like a male comedian was like, yo, I'll beat the shit out of you. She has a whole ass husband, you know, and then that.
Entire one.
And then he like, yeah, and then he was gone. I'm sure he's still alive. I don't think we killed him. But like.
Yeah, shitty open micer dudes usually might not go to open mics anymore, but they rarely die. It's never the ones. It's nice that he stopped going though. That's nice of him.
Well, I think he was scared. There was, I don't know. Good. I hope he's doing karaoke somewhere.
Probably.
Well, that's the problem with like comedy in general. Like anyone can do it. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. You start harassing people like, hey, why you guys letting this happen? Like we don't even know this guy.
Exactly.
We're definitely saying something, but like, yeah, you know, it's dangerous out there. We can't stop everybody, but yeah, we definitely stop established people from doing shit.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, every once in a while, like a story pops up where I don't know. It always feels like it's made into this really big thing when it's just like it is open mics. Like, how do you regulate an open mic? What are you supposed to sit down and have an interview process with every single person before they go up on stage?
Yeah.
I just think that people need to like, I don't care if they have 3 minutes. If they start getting fucking crazy, like light them. Like, use your judgment. Like if they start saying some crazy ass shit, if they show up in a Joker fucking, remember the fucking movie, The Joker thingy?
Yep.
Somebody dressed like that at one of our open mics, and I was like, this is not funny. We're gonna die.
Oh man, I've seen some crazy Spokane. One we had like a mannequin head and a trench coat, just like a bag full of things that he would just pull out and rant about. I was like,
I hate prop comics.
Everybody hates prop comedy, especially at open mic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to go up there. You spend half of your 3 minutes just setting up the stage.
Yeah, tuning your ukulele.
That's just only wheelhouse. Like, no, I know it'd be good. I just need to practice, guys. And you never get a chance because everybody's sitting on you all the time.
Well,
they already got a carrot top though, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they already peaked. You don't need another one. What are you going to be, carrot top 2?
Yeah.
We're 2 Gallaghers though, so who knows?
I feel like there's these like, I don't know, I just made me think of something. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying? Look, I'm a woman and this show's about me, so just
Did you guys talk?
yeah. I just think that there are some girls too, like the other side of it is that they're just really pretty and they get like shots because dudes want to fuck them. And then it perpetuates this thing that girls aren't funny. I think that's a shitty thing too. The other side of it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely. I think that like presentability on stage and everything like that can be a factor into things. But then also, if someone's like giving an attractive person is giving a producer attention, they'll probably
or like I'll go out with you, or I'll suck your dick, or whatever. I feel like that I've seen that too, and I'm like, yo. Don't fucking do that. But they like have this, there's like this new model of woman, their fucking TikTok, Instagram influencer shit that wants to do comedy that is like, I'm okay with that and that's good for them because they have command of their bodies. But I feel like that gets mixed up in this other shit that's happening, which is people actually assaulting people, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what's been stirred up in with like the Chris D'Elia stuff. He didn't assault anyone in the comedy community, but he definitely was. You know, it's alleged that he was grooming underage women and clearly had a history of like just sleeping around a lot, and people take an issue with that, and that kind of stirred up this whole thing. I don't know about your scene, but in our scene, a bunch of stuff is bubbling up. I think a lot of comics are stuck at home, not on stage, and upset.
And they're like, oh shit, they're outing them.
Yeah, some things. It's I don't want to get into particulars because it's all
Scrolling names on the bottom.
No, but like I don't know. I want to talk about the subjects around it, not the particulars, because it is. I haven't jumped into it because I will never know the whole story. The only whole story I know is my own shit, what I have done. And I do think that simultaneously, like women in comedy, they have to deal with a lot of things that dudes don't have to deal with. And there's a lot of things that'd be good to navigate, but it's hard to have conversations about because, like, when you talk about like, well, how? Because Greg and I kind of spoke on this yesterday. Is that like, as a dude who doesn't want to seem like a threat or make a woman I'm working with uncomfortable, like, I am actively aware of being awkward and weird around someone that I'm working with. That sometimes that can make you accidentally be weird and awkward. Like, I'm not saying that's it. Never experienced that. Just being around someone and be like, don't be weird, don't be weird, don't be weird. And you're like, you're for sure being weird.
You're saying this out loud.
I was just saying, like, a couple times, like, you know, people really do crazy things. And, like, I would never want to be that. Like, I grew up being blamed for a lot of shit, just being like the only black guy in town. You know, people fucking with me a lot. So, you know, I don't ever want to be that. So that's like, maybe it's like it's a more internalized shit, but like, I won't. Unless I'm real cool with people, we're like real friends, I won't hang out with you just like alone because I don't want to like be in any kind of situation where anybody might think anything is going wrong. And that's not like, I think anybody's gonna like say something false or anything. I just don't want to be like putting anybody in any kind of weird situation. If you know, I don't have to, man. I like keep things above board.
Mike Pence and only having dinner with his wife or whatever.
No, not like that.
On a smaller scale, though. But on a smaller scale.
I'm like, hey, I'm never hanging out with you. I'm just saying. Like, I'm more like way more on guard. Like, I won't, you know, which more P's and Q's and shit. I don't just
Which I think that sort of mentality that both of us have, and I'm not saying it's correct, but it is like a knee-jerk reaction of just like, like I want to make sure someone feels okay, but like you're juggling some stuff mentally. The unfortunate byproduct of that is that a lot of times dudes will just end up seeming more abrupt and more like just kind of like standoffish, and spend more time hanging out with their own group, and that's not good either, because that by the bad side of that is that like, well, less women they'll feel less welcome, stuff like that, and that's not what I want to do. And that's also why I'm kind of just like, just talking it out.
Yeah, well, women have to like walk both lines. We have to be fucking chill. I experienced the first 6 months that I did comedy. I had my husband come with me, and half the time they would come up to him and go, "Hey, where are you on the list?" You know, and like they wouldn't even address me. And then I was like, "Dude, I think it's like you're dropping me off at kindergarten. Like I got to do this on my own, you know, because nobody's gonna talk to me." Because there was a subgroup. There's like the creep group, and there was like the more established comics that already had like found a community within themselves that were good guys, but they didn't want to like seem like creeps, you know? So, and it took like, I was like, I'm gonna have to do it. And plus, who wants to drag their significant other when I'm talking shit about them on stage? You know what I mean?
That's a power move. Like, clearly you are dictating the terms of that relationship, because you're just like, you drive me, and then listen to me tell everybody how shitty you are.
Exactly.
And then compliment me while you drive me home.
I am not a good person. I actually talk about that a lot. But like, yeah. And then plus people won't like, I don't know, some people won't approach women because they don't want to be creeps. But then some people approach women just to be creeps. So it's fucking confusing because you're trying to go there to do a mic and you have to be like aware of all the dumb shit around you.
Yeah. Vanessa, you got anything thrown there?
I mean, she's not wrong. It is like that, especially when you start comedy or like move to a new comedy scene and people are just like, "Oh, new girl."
Yeah.
It gets worse.
The new girl, thing.
It's worse. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like when you move to like a new scene, it's just like, no, I'm not new. I'm just new to you guys. Like,
well, I know. I felt that when I got out here, man. Amani had me sitting at the table till 1 a.m. Or you
Man,
can give me a shot to get it 907 and shit. That's pretty cool. I
right?
was like, all right, man. But I just kept it cool, you know. You just got to sit back and relax.
Don't you like really enjoy the feeling of like everyone just kind of like not acknowledging you or thinking you're capable of doing anything, and then you get
Right?
your set in a new spot, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, word, okay,
Right. And now you want to be my friend?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
now
that's
they
how
know
it goes.
my worth. Hmm.
All
That's
of a
how it
sudden,
goes.
It's a bunch of egos together when they're everybody's clashing.
Yeah. Well, okay. This might be a big question, but like, what? Because I mean, not now, but I've produced shows in the past. I've produced open mics. I've always tried to make it seem as welcoming as possible, so that whoever shows up does feel comfortable and whatnot. I try to book shows as diversely as possible, make sure whoever's on there does feel comfortable. But like, what do you think are things that like male comics, male producers could do, or just producers in general?
Mm. Oh,
I think it just like depends on the producer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like some producers are gonna have just like bad intentions in mind, but like other ones are just trying to book a good show. It's just like all depends on the person on
Okay.
that one.
I just think you can be organized and fair and like have your shit together and just be professional. And like if somebody's new, talk to them. It's also not your responsibility. I think if you're doing open mics, the person that is going to them should be, if they were going for a community, which everybody I think needs a community when doing stand up. Otherwise, it's very fucking lonely. Um, I just think that you have to sort of establish it. But if that person goes and finds out that so and so is a fucking creep, I think they should be able to approach someone who's been in it longer. Like it sucks that comedy doesn't have HR and that a lot of people go through this shit and then they feel isolated or like they can't fucking talk to anybody because then it might fuck up their chances to get on a showcase or like whatever the fuck hierarchy bullshit. Um, I just think that because it doesn't have HR, that it's like up to everyone to communicate like an adult, which is something Vanessa was saying earlier that her scene prior to Seattle was like it sounded adult like. She was like, nah, people have things and then they deal with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
that's just the smaller scene thing though. But Spokane's kind of like that. That's where I started, and we were all pretty close for the most part. There was a couple stragglers, whatever. But overall, like we had a beef, we'd hash it out, and it'd take like a week maybe. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
a 2 year drama from like two different sides of like two different cities and shit that are like in the same scene.
yeah.
It gets stressful out here.
Yeah, I
It
think it's
seems,
just because the majority of people only interact through like Facebook.
yeah,
That's like just a recurring thought I have is that just like, dude, the internet makes communication the worst. Like just typing, and that's how all these subjects are being discussed right now. Is everyone is screaming at each other about how something should be done. Like,
yeah, or like
because you're talking about
opinion
like
or something. But
you're talking about like creeps at open mics and shows like on like a low level, like if someone like really does something overboard like that, we know how to react to that, but like low level creepiness, like how do you handle that, like, and whose responsibility is it to just kind of like tell someone to like cut out what they're doing, and if they don't listen, like then okay, I'm figuring out this stuff. Like I had a thought. Do you guys ever start that, like you have a thought and you're getting down there and you're like, I've already figured it out, I'm not even saying the thought I had 30 seconds ago. All right,
awesome.
it's cool. Let's delete that. Good. It's a live show. Fantastic. Uh, I'm saying like we need to listen to people when someone's like so and so is a creep, but we all have different perceptions about what is inappropriate behavior.
Yeah,
Because right now there is a lot of stuff happening that locally in our scene, and I think this is, I don't know, I'm gonna crap on Washington, but it seems like every 2 to 3 years it's like a wildfire of drama just needs to sweep through, and it's frustrating because no one is willing to actually have a discussion on a thing. You just have people screaming that X and Y need to be done now, and like no one can even question and go, but like, can we talk this out, can we figure it out? They're just like, no, and they scream about it. I'm like,
they're like, no, cancel. Is that what you're saying? Or
yeah, but bad behavior to continue. I don't want people that are predators to be in positions of power to
I
abuse that.
love it. Yeah. I'm just
but at the
kidding.
same time, say what?
I said I love it.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just
Okay,
because
okay.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's almost like as if it takes a certain type of person to accrue a certain amount of money and whatnot. Like I think it a kind of sociopath gravitates to those positions a little bit.
Yeah, kind of, man. I was thinking of that too because I don't even have. I would hate to produce a show. I couldn't think of anything more nightmarish. But some people, that's all they're all about, and a lot of them are just real weird. Like people you don't hang out with on the reg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like people that produce this show. Just kidding.
Fair enough. Man. I don't know.
Greg hangs out with me on occasion.
Occasion.
On occasion. No one hangs out with anyone now, Vanessa, Tori. Don't.
You're
Come
right.
on.
You're
I'm
right.
cool. I'm a cool hang to
Do you
have.
think that these people that it comes in waves because of the people their position within the scene, and that every so often one thing is exposed and it becomes like a domino effect, and everybody's like, oh shit, I'm gonna get under this fucking umbrella really quick and see if I can shove my story in there because there's strength in numbers?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that is a part of it. I didn't mean it's like a wildfire through the scene about this specific subject every single time. I'm just saying
Oh, okay.
in general. But it has been, honestly, ever since Trump got elected, that has been I think that is amped up the focus on these sorts of things, which is good. I'm just saying, like, I don't see a resolution with this dynamic. I don't see a way to
Yeah.
figure out how to do it. And I think there's just a lot of elements at play, and I'm not trying to. I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking about like in my experience, I didn't say anything to the way that that manager acted because I literally thought that's what I had to like. I had to endure his stupid ass fucking commentary because he was a manager, and I feel kind of guilty, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking say whatever I want. I don't care. Cancel me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
but I hate that it has to be a breaking point. And what happened for me was that once I did that, anytime somebody did something, they were like telling me. So I feel like there are these things that like sort of parrot whenever a woman comes forward. Like I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but like Kelsey Kane is retweeting a bunch of stuff, and I don't know if you ever saw her penis CK thing. That was fucking hilarious. Um, roll footage. Just kidding. But like she went after him, and then she's just been like outing people left and right and establishments on Twitter. And I've been watching that unfold, and then the women that are coming together and sharing their stories is pretty like that's pretty powerful stuff, especially after the Dalia thing. Um, yeah.
That's good. I mean, I don't know what generic sort of white dude response I'm supposed to have to that. It's like that. That's awesome, but the tearing down establishments. I mean, like it's just like removing. Like, how do we go about? Because we don't really have power to do that sort of thing, or maybe we do. Maybe it's shifting. Like, how is a lot of this being perceived? Are like the people in the establishment are is there results to those actions? Like her being vocal about it?
I mean, in my little instance, me being vocal about it, I'm not going to say that I got dude fired, but I was a part of it. I was a part of the people that were talking that actually handled it in a professional manner, like typing things up. But like these other situations, it's an interesting time because like Twitter, you can say whatever you want on uh, Twitter and Facebook. Shit, Parlor. I don't know if you guys have heard of Parlor yet. But like the only thing is they'll fact check you on those social medias, right? So, um, but you're also safe from being sued. So like you can literally say whatever the fuck you want. Like Chris D'Elia can't go and say like you're fucking I'm gonna sue you because Twitter protects them. With all these stories, I don't know where I was going with that except that I'm high and I've been thinking a lot
I was
about
like,
suing people.
I was waiting for like to come around. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a
I
dope
don't
point.
know.
She's
I'm
like,
just saying like
building it up.
it's fucking you can say anything and who knows what's true? I read that thing about
That's
that fucking actor. What's his name? The white kid that was in Fault of Our Stars. Vanessa, do you know who I'm talking about? Fucking guy. I don't
what about
know.
him though?
It came out right after the Dalia thing, but they were like, this fucking Ansel, whatever.
Oh
He
wait, was
brought,
he in that '70s show too?
yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
oh
That,
yeah.
Yeah, that
yeah,
dude.
they were like,
Years.
yeah. And then
He,
I started, it just like, it was so weird. It was like sexual assault, fucking a
But
minor. And it was a
that was
fudge.
actually he was like got charged with that in 2015. I remember that, but it was like way quieter back then.
Yeah, but
Oh.
now everybody's like,
Coming
dude,
back
do you
up.
know this guy's a fucking perv? This guy's a perv. And then the fact that you can't really do anything about whoever says whatever on social media. I'm kind of like, I feel like every day I'm wading through who's a predator and who's not. I think I made a joke like, can we fucking start a Google Doc or something? Like,
Yeah.
can we
Oh,
just track
well,
them?
I do know in
that's
Seattle that I do know in Seattle a handful of years ago, some people got together, made that list, but they didn't specify the severity of the action. So some dudes that just made a fellow comic feel uncomfortable got lumped in with someone that was accused of like
See,
legit
and then it
sexual
becomes
assault.
like a burn book. Like we're fucking in Mean Girls, and we're gonna like,
That's, I mean, real talk, that's what it feels like, at least around here. And I mean, I haven't gone to other scenes. I don't know what it is. And also, like I said, I'm a dude, so I don't have to deal with a lot of these things. That's why I'm trying to have these conversations. Is that it's just like, I don't know. I don't get how to proceed, how we should proceed, just because it's like a lot of times people say a thing and use vague terminology. And then when you're like, okay, but I need specifics to understand how I should handle the situation, those are withheld. And you're like, all right, I guess I just got to go along with whatever someone types up and posts on Facebook.
my friend has a joke where one of his punchlines is, "Well, did he rape you a lot or a little bit?" And it's so fucking funny because that's what I think about when I'm like, "Well, what's actually happening? I don't know what's happening." Like and we're never gonna know because it seems like it's happening a lot. But if one story sounds like every other story, there's that song like "Stop It." That would be
Doesn't seem
cool.
very
And
subliminal. Bumble.
oh yeah, okay. They're just like, it's a catchy beat. Oh, wait. Oh, you know what I hate too? I'm going to tell you.
Vanessa,
right.
They're like, oh, here's a woman that's a comedian.
is that even how you're supposed to pronounce that? I've never.
You know,
I don't. I don't
I don't know.
say the word. I don't know.
It's French. There is a French word, comedian, right? Oh, comedian, or that's Russian.
No, it's
I
just a
can't
Russian
say it.
accent.
Yeah, it's just a Russian accent.
I was gonna
Comedian.
go with French. I was like, yeah, fuck it, that's French, I guess.
Yeah, it's French, but I don't like it. I think it's like don't I don't ask for like a fucking a male nurse. I guess I could at the gynecologist. I don't know, male doctor, like female doctor. Just fucking say
Yeah,
comic or
like just say my
comedian.
name and shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Like, why do you have to like try to gas up the female thing? It's like you're setting them up for some weird disappointment that you have with bros in the fucking audience. Like, shut up. Just bring me up.
Right.
That still happened like a lot. A lot.
In San Antonio, I mean, I fucking go off though. People think I'm mean because I'm brown and like I look mean when I'm not smiling. But
Do
I'll
you
fucking
always
tell them off
fake
after
mean
that. Like,
things?
I'm sorry, I'm grumpy. Be like, oh yeah, well, let's talk about you being a man, motherfucker. You are a man, right?
Hmm. Well, I do think it could just be not justifying, but potentially the awkwardness of not knowing what to say. Because I know I've been on, like when I first started hosting, I it was drilled into me that you're like, don't be like, next comic's a lady comic, and there's a lady. Like that's in your head where you're like, don't say the fucking thing, don't say the thing. Next comic
Yeah.
coming on stage,
Don't say tits. Don't say tits.
yeah, just don't say it, don't say it, and that yeah. So I think there's that, but also for sure, shitty comics are just gonna be like next comic is a lady, thinking that that's gonna somehow set you up better
Yeah.
to make an audience already go. It's setting the audience up to be like dismissive of anything you have to say.
Almost. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Or like yeah, that's what I think. It's kind of like there's also it's kind of like when people are like, "Oh, this person," when they gas you up too much, I guess. And then like if it's an open mic and you get gassed up a bunch and you're like, fuck, I want to try a new joke here, you know? Like
the dude that Greg mentioned to Vanessa about sticking around the first time he went to this room. This is 907 in Renton, Washington, and it's run by this guy Amani Taylor, and he's the nicest dude in the world. But the introductions he has given me, where I'm just like, dog, I'm just here to work.
Yeah.
Like said that I'm Dave Chappelle's favorite comedian. just oh dude, and as soon as I told him, can you not do that, he's like, all right dude, that's for sure what I'm always gonna do. Oh, it's the worst. And then he called me a lady and I was like, what?
I did some mic in New York and they were like, she's gonna be on Comedy Central next week, and I fucked me up. Like I went up and I was like, you know something I don't? Like what the fuck? Why would you say that? Why would you lie? And they're like, these people don't care. And I'm like, then I care. Don't say that. That's weird.
I get it. It's fun to fuck with people as a host, though.
Yeah. I got scared. I was like, someone here is going to think I'm someone. I'm no one. Just let me talk about penises and peas. Just kidding. How do you guys feel about sexual humor?
I mean, if it's funny.
Who gives a shit? I like anything if it's hilarious.
Yeah, they told me the first few years that I couldn't be dirty at all if I wanted to work in the main room.
Seems absurd. It's usually the dudes that are filthy themselves that say that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. And then I did like a hard 10 on dick coming and all that. So fun when you can talk about jizz so much.
I mean, it's a humorous substance.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like that when I started out in Oklahoma too. They were like, you got to be clean in open mics. You can't cuss at all. Like you can't talk about anything going in or out of your body. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense for like getting club work. That is like a good thing to have, because I've always kind of been a dirty comic the whole time. I've tried to be clean because I know it would lead to more work, but it doesn't. But someone going out of your way can be obnoxious. But I'm sure that I don't know. I like talking shop. I like talking about comedy. And a lot of times if there's a newer comic that happens to be a woman, I might be like, yo, do you want to hear my thoughts? I had some thoughts on the thing. Like I always ask that beforehand. And they usually say, yeah. If they say no, I'll be like, cool. And then I just talk about tags. But that's bitten me in the ass too. We're like, I'm like,
you do that shit to everybody, man.
You do.
Like, hey man, I was thinking about your shit, by the way. So but you can see how that would come off, like if she's new and you just come up, it's like, oh, this dude give me like unsolicited advice. Like, yeah, but I just do that to everyone, don't feel special.
I asked, be like, hey, can I give you thoughts? No big deal if you don't want them. And
I totally had that done though with like a guy who it was his first time doing a mic, and he was like I was sitting at the bar trying to like write out some new things that I wanted to hit, like some new punchlines and my order. And he totally come up and he's like, my first time tonight, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I tried to like go back to my life. And then he's like, can I look over your set for you? You want me to do that? It's my first time. I can do it. I'm a really funny guy. And I was like, holy shit. Wow. I was like, nah. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And then I made fun of him. And then I didn't even do the new shit. I just made fun of him for 5 minutes.
So he helped you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Dude, open mics are like, it's just a beacon for insane people.
Yeah. It's like, are you crazy? Come. Maybe that's it. Maybe everybody gets to like a breaking point, and then some people actually just want to write jokes,
Like with their insanity?
Yeah, they're like, oh shit, I gotta tell someone.
Yeah. I mean, I had that thing. I was yelling at my coworkers at work, and I was like, I should probably find a healthier outlet than this.
Yeah, therapy.
I'll go do it in bars where people look like worse versions of me.
I think that it's okay if you talk to everyone, like give everyone advice that it's fine. And it's also about how you approach it. Like I've had dudes try to tell me that like I'm funny, but like in they want to fuck me way, or in girls too. Like girls are the same. It's not just men. So I just think that, like everybody can be a fucking perv if they really try. So just be like approachable about it. You know what I mean? Like, hey dude, I've been doing comedy for X amount, blah blah blah. It's how you fucking intro it. Don't be like, hey, nice tits.
So you want to go on record saying that we should not open up a conversation. Just everyone in general shouldn't open up a
Yeah.
conversation by going.
Don't be like, hey, look at your tits.
Like dudes in Texas are super aggressive, man.
Yeah. They just want to fucking fuck or fight.
Or fight fucking.
I saw that on Boardwalk Empire when she like punches him.
Oh, nice. I got I BitTorrent did that, and then Comcast found out, and I almost got my internet canceled.
Oh damn.
So I stopped watching the show, just in general.
Oh yeah. Don't ever support them again after that.
No, of course not.
Last season was trash.
So, question, because I'm just going through all the slight issues that I can think of that pertaining to this sort of thing, is that like often there's a lot of complaints about like lineups, like bookings and whatnot. What are your thoughts on that? Like, because I've produced shows for a handful of years, and I always try to make sure it's not just dudes, but there's always just so many more dudes to book. And it's hard to like seek people out to fill the spots in, and if you're in rooms that you're like, not everyone that I can book is going to do well in this room. Thoughts? Am I wrong? An asshole?
I mean, I feel like some people definitely go out of their way to make the lineup diverse. Like, it was weird when I moved to Seattle because everyone was like concentrating on making the lineup diverse, but in Oklahoma it's like, oh, let's just get who's funny, and it normally turned out somewhat diverse, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of shows in San Antonio have the same people.
Mhm.
I actually produce shows, so I try to book people that are funny. I think that it's important to be funny, and I think when I first started doing comedy here, only a short few years ago, 3 years ago, there was only one other woman, and now there's like 10 to 15. So I feel like that's not as much as the sausage fest that there is, but I'm excited with that. But the shitty thing is that sometimes people just pick it to be diverse, and sometimes people aren't funny, and it gives everybody else a bad name, and it fucking bothers me.
Yeah, that kind of ties into the thing where I'm like, I want to I want as many people as possible to book in the rooms that I produce, and like, but some people just aren't ready yet, and I feel like that is used often as a way to bolster up the like, hey, there, I'm being discriminated against to not be able to be on this show in this room or do this thing, where it's just like, no, you're new, you're not good
Yeah.
enough yet.
Oh, and I think that it's or giving people notes. I've done that, and not that I'm anybody, but if somebody asks me to look at one of their videos, I'll fucking open it up on Google Drive and I'll give notes, and um I'll do things like that. And I think that there is a reverse. Some really pretty guys get shows and they're not funny, but like the chicks
Yeah.
like them.
Well, it's the entertainment industry. People like attractive people,
Exactly. Yeah.
which sucks unless you're a really hot person. So
Yeah, I hate them. So, but I try to just book people that are funny, and sometimes I'm not all the time, but I was gonna say, okay, have you guys ever? Well, I guess it's Vanessa. Vanessa, have you ever been asked to do like, hey, it's the ladies only show, or the fucking brunch bitches, or fucking
yeah, all the time. Like, I'm doing an all women show in whatever month. Do you want to
Yeah.
be on it? Like,
So like I have a controversial angle. I don't like all female show thing unless it's for like breast cancer and it's like a fucking special thing. Otherwise, I want you to chill out with it, people. Like, just fucking book people that are funny and try to book a female feature, female headliner every now and then, because they're out there and it's easy to get them. And sometimes I just feel like it makes women the center of some fucking secret laugh when it's like, oh, brunch bitches, and then I want to fight everybody because I think women are funny.
well, I mean, from your opinion, I do agree with that. That is a trying to correct a problem incorrectly.
Yeah, it makes it a weirder target. Like, it's like that we can only be funny in a certain safe area, But also, I will do your brunch bitch show. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing too we haven't talked about yet is that a lot of times people complain about rooms, but this might be getting locally controversial, but the people that complain about certain rooms tend to not get booked in those rooms that they're complaining about. As soon as the room benefits you, it shifts your perception of it. It shifts your perception of the thing when you are getting something from it. And I don't like that either. But it's like, yo, man, this is like a career we're all trying to follow. We all get the mind drugs from having a set that goes well. So it's I don't know, it's complicated. He says, feeling selfish, saying all that.
I'm
Anyways,
trying
someone
to
else
think.
back me up.
I don't do certain rooms that if I don't if I've had a bad experience, I won't do certain rooms.
Okay.
Um, but it's never why shit. It's if okay, if there's shitty people in charge, I won't go support that space. And male and female. There's a female space in town that I just don't fucking like the way they do business. It took them like 3 weeks to pay me $30 and they made me go down there and paid me out of the register. Like what?
Wow. All right.
That's weird. Like I just feel like people should be professional.
Yeah, that's
But
a lot to ask in a when a lot of money's not involved. A lot of it is the clout. Like that's what you get from it. Like you get to command the space and there's not money. So people don't treat it as a business. They treat it as sort of like
a hobby, yeah.
it's a hobby and it's also I feel like it's a resurgence of all the shit you wanted to get out of your system in high school.
Yeah. I could
Like
see that.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm dominating the conversation, so I'm gonna
You
shut up.
are very chatty and I'm not I don't know, like but you're giving me shit to talk about. Greg,
Yeah.
Vanessa, feel free.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking like talking about clubs and things. Now there's not like you said a lot of women who are ready and shit or whatever Luke was saying. It's like hard to book because like funny women get books that like people need them, so they definitely get plucked a lot. And I know people try to reach out to a lot of women, but they're already booked for shows that they're doing, so they kind of get stuck in a different situations. Like I could book someone terrible who's a woman, or I could just get this guy on who I know is pretty funny, and we could just do it. And I could try to get her next time.
Because also
Do you think? Yeah, do you think there'd be more funny women or more women who are ready who would stay in longer if people dealt with the creepy situation
Fuck
better?
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's like should it be the community? Like that one guy you said he just got in your face, like, yo, I'll beat your ass. Should it be a community thing? Or should it be every venue needs to have like upright citizen brigade guy running it and making sure everything's above board? Because I think most bar owners like, hey man, bring people in, sell some drinks. I don't give a fuck what you guys do. That's your shit. So who's responsible for this?
I think that's the
Maybe.
fucking question. Like,
Yeah, because like no one's like. I mean, if you feel obligated, no one's like truly obligated. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of it just depends where you are. Like if you're down in Texas, Oklahoma, yeah, there's gonna be a lot more dudes that are gonna be like, "Hey, I'll beat your ass, leave her alone." But up here, up northwest, not really that same type of attitude. You know?
I know.
they're gonna be like, hey, let's meditate together or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Like, what happened to you, bro? We can talk it out.
We
you
got
had to do some
feeling.
yoga, you'll feel much better, man. You need to breathe. Breathe in,
You need
bro.
to breathe. Have you tried breathing through your eye? But like your eye, bro, not like your eye.
The top one. It helps. Yeah, but I think we need to figure out like I don't know, like
Who wants to be the police though? That's another thing. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
fucking sucks.
that's what I'm
Nobody
saying.
wants
Like
to be
we're all in this for like to sound terrible, but like for ourselves. So like all this other stuff is like kind of auxiliary. Like it's bad and it affects other people, but like when it's someone else's stuff, you're just like, yeah, but how do I deal with that? I'm trying to do my thing.
Yeah.
God, I sound selfish.
We're all
It is,
selfish. I don't know.
it's not a team sport, man. Like most people just went to open mic because hey, I think I'm funny, and then like people who were good kept going, and people who didn't slowly drop out, and you click up, and it's random. There's no like set who's on whose team, who's doing things, and then I think somebody gets accused of something, and then it's like either got the mob mentality on the internet, where they just bomb you before anything comes out, or people just straight dismissing women just altogether, like, hey, he's just weird. Just
Or
trying to be quiet,
women.
stay away from him. It's like, what do we like?
Yeah.
We can't do that either. You know what I mean? There's got to be some bridge where everyone feels like justice is being served.
I feel like women also fucking don't listen to women. I've seen new women come and I've been like, hey, that dude's a fucking piece of shit. And this is what I know. Like, I've done that in a private message, like, quite a few times. And I've had some women that are like, I'll learn for myself. And I'm like, whoa, cool. Sorry. But I think they think it's like I don't know. I think some women are just fucking scared to hear other women. It's like a weird, it's like a weird ego thing.
What do you mean they're
Yeah.
scared to hear other women?
I
Like,
think I feel like they're like, oh, well, this person's gonna help me, and you're just trying to prevent them from helping me. And I'm like, nah, that person uses fucking women and has assault records on women. You know, like I should be able to tell. Uh, I should be able to like try to warn someone without them being like, "Oh, you just don't want me to have this opportunity." And like, what? To get fucking beaten? What are you
well,
Or
that's
like
talking
also
about?
tell them like, hey man, if you don't believe me, I'm just letting you know. But there's other people that can also
Yeah,
vouch. Maybe
yeah.
maybe ask around before you get involved with this person. Because I know like if I just started somewhere, because I don't like trust people, and somebody just hit me up like, hey man, watch out for this person. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You don't know me like that either. Why do you care what happens to me, man? So
Yeah.
now I'm wondering what you're thinking about. And then but if somebody came at me different, like, hey, look, you're new. I don't, I want more people around. So, this guy has this reputation. Here's some other people that can vouch for it. Maybe look into it before you work. I don't know how you approach it, but
Oh, I'm like, hey, we need more women. Be careful of X, Y, and Z.
gotcha.
Uh, but women are competitive, like too, like so.
yeah. I don't know. I gotta tread soft, like lightly with this, but it's just like I've known some women that did comedy in this area, and I'm sure it's like this in other areas too, where they like don't feel welcome and they do feel
Because
mistreated,
it's a
not by
boys'
like the
club.
dude, but like by the women in comedy that claim to be the biggest advocates for women in comedy. And it's just like everyone's shitty in some way, shape, or form, and it's frustrating because like it's like, yo man, we're all trying to make it, and the more we do crappy things to each other, because that's all we really have, the worse it's gonna be. Like you, I get trying to tear down rooms and all this other stuff, but it's just like, yeah, man. But like, if you tear down a room because you don't like a guy who's there, like, what is going to replace it? Are you working to build a thing? You want other people, you want bookings to go this way and this way and this way, but you're not actively trying to make that. Like you're just
I'd like
screaming
to
at
see
the top
more
of your
women
lungs.
and women propping women up that are funny and like also people communicating more. I feel like people aren't fucking communicating. They're bottling everything up and then they're like, blah, the world's over. And then it fucking sucks.
And then
Cause there's
demanding
all this,
everyone agree with them immediately, or they are the
Yeah,
exactly.
because
Cause
they've
they,
been holding all this anger in and they can't wait to
yeah,
let
they
it out.
become
And then when they
desperate.
do,
Yeah.
oof,
it's
too
I'm
much.
like, and I'm it's very easy for me to look at this objectively because I am not emotionally tied to it to the same extent as a lot of other people. But it's like frustrating because I'm like, yo man, like I want to help fix this problem, but like I might not agree with you 100%. And if I don't agree, like something I said like a couple years ago, but like if you treat everyone who doesn't agree with you 100% as the enemy, you shouldn't be surprised when you find so many enemies. And that's what I think we've just done with the internet and like society right now is we're so polarized that no one can agree with anyone that isn't agreeing with them like 100%.
That's why they have that stupid fucking website Parlor or whatever. Sorry, I'm on this Parlor kick. It's a fucking right wing echo chamber. Crazy
I've been
social
trying to
media
pay attention to some right wing stuff lately too, just because it's like, hey man, we should be aware
of the
of,
enemy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
also
definitely
how they.
listen to like Ben Shapiro and shit like that. I listen to all those fools because I want to know exactly what their arguments are, not like
Mhm.
sound clip versions. So when
Yeah.
people's like, no, they just sound clip this, it's like, yeah, but they didn't sound clip the other like hour of context that you kind of misled this other bullshit, bro. Like, yeah, like I do all that same thing. I like to listen to everyone's point of view and then just kind of like shut up and watch, I guess.
But it
Yeah.
also, I noticed that like the left wing, we have our own weird hyper ideological things that we latch onto, and I'm like, yo man, there's like people in the middle too that are just not screaming so much, and I don't think the two far ends are going to be able to actually be. They're not the ones to solve the problem, I don't think. And that might be just me because I feel like I've become more moderate in the last couple of years than I used to be.
The only thing I like is like I feel like digitally people are fact checking actual things on certain social medias, and then there's other social medias that will not, and that's what's dangerous. That's what scares me. I feel like there's just a lot of crazy fucking people out there that like listening to each other, and and then they also fuck kids. I feel like that's a thing because they have a lot of money. It feels like money and fucking kids are like their best.
Yeah, this year has been like a influx of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make Greg? Does that make you anxious about ever becoming a billionaire? That you might
I don't want to start fucking kids, so
you don't know, man. You get that billion, and you might be like, "Ooh, shit."
If you're a billionaire, like, hey man, we're going to this island for a party. You're like, fuck, man, what kind of island is this? Am I gonna get my picture taken here? It's like I didn't really want to be here. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here tomorrow. And it's like, nah, we got you here though, bro. It's like, oh, you didn't tell me. Oh, you got me. All right, I'll support this bill.
Oh, dude, yeah. How much? Oh, that's a rabbit
Fuck
hole.
Island.
So we're all agreeing as a group to never become a billionaire in the off chance it turns us into pedophiles.
I don't think any amount of money is gonna make me a pedophile.
Yeah.
Me either. I've never had $1 billion, so I can't just say shit. I'm not that guy who just talks
I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that too. Like I probably wouldn't do it, but you know.
But I'd like the billion to see how I feel.
You know, just to see what I can do with it.
Yeah, if I become $1 billion, like if I get $1 billion, I'll report back. I'm like, hey, by the way, not fucking any kids. They're just psychos.
Dude, if you get $1 billion and all you do is call me to tell me that you didn't fuck kids, I'm going to be really disappointed that I've ever been your friend.
You said that's all I was going to do. That's it. Then I'm done with my billion adventure. I'm just letting you know. That's a 2-second thing out of my day. I can do other shit.
Yeah, you better send like an owl or something that can sing it or something weird, like something $1 million moment.
Get one of those Hogwarts owls.
Yeah.
I don't like
but they don't like trans lives, so
everything's problematic.
Yeah,
it's rude.
Everything's canceled. I'm glad that everything's canceled, though. Yay!
The world is canceled, and this is a time for us to kind of shuffle through things and feel like if we want to rework some stuff. All right, I should probably land the ship. So, like in conclusion, what are the takeaways from this?
We didn't solve shit.
We did, but also
we really didn't. We didn't.
All right, maybe I had higher hopes for what I would have gotten out of this conversation than what because it is. I do think it's just like there needs to be like more open dialogue about shit. It's just I have my own frustrations, but those are mine, and like I don't understand everyone else's. And if all I'm seeing is like a little thing, like a thing on Facebook, and people are screaming about it, and you can't question it. You can't do it. It's I don't know. It's difficult to understand what exactly you should do because the mob mentality. I don't like caving into mobs. Like it just doesn't. I don't know.
Maybe you should become a private investigator and open a comedy club and book people based off of their records that you've built and become like J. Edgar Hoover.
I mean, that could be fun. It would be called Gumshoe Comedy.
See?
I'm already on board with that shit. All right, cool.
All right. Well, we didn't solve anything, but did we, like, what's one question we could ask and then, like, work forward to? Like, who do we talk to about being responsible for these situations, these accusations? How do we hold them accountable? I think if we find the right questions to ask, we can find the right solutions eventually, man. So
I think we should just start one of those walls where people line up and then we just shoot them.
Oh, damn.
Well, I don't know if you want that with who's in charge right now.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Be careful, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe hold off until he's not where he is.
You know, let's just hold off on that permanently.
Yeah, let's not do that. It gets ugly. No matter how you do it or who.
Why don't we tell everybody that everybody's quitting comedy, but then like it's not just the creeps, will quit.
Well, I think that is what is about to happen. So
they should quit.
They should quit. They should definitely quit and just get out of here. It makes it easier for everyone involved.
Creeps
fuck it up for everybody, yo.
have you guys thought about that though? Like, one thing that is definitely always a good thing about like these things being brought up is that it puts everyone on edge, but also more aware of the behavior around them, which I do think is great. It's just, I don't know, it's a tumultuous time. What I was gonna say is that have you guys thought about just like how many like old crappy road comics are just not gonna be able to be around after this, and how you're like, oh, that's actually like super beneficial.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, dude.
I
So
didn't think
many,
about it like that, but it is
A lot of
gonna
these
be.
shitty little gigs are gonna be dope.
dude.
You're
So
gonna be
many.
able to tell they're the ones that are like, I'm not a creep, but oh.
Yeah, anytime you say a statement about yourself not being terrible and then you follow it by "but," for sure you're thinking of an incident where you're like, oh, I gotta not bring that one up.
So if Seattle is going through a moment where there's like creeps or whatever, that means that my scene in the next year or whatever is going to have another whatever, like a explosion of creepage. Because I feel like right now we're pretty chill. Like everything was like 3 years ago. Do you think
Yep,
it's
it's
like
about that
waves?
time.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like it,
I think it's more like you said earlier, it's like a domino effect thing because like this time someone like new got accused of some shit,
mm,
and then people started bringing up old stuff, and then like things started falling down again. So it's like
yeah.
something new happens, and old shit gets brought up, and there's like a big flame.
Oh
But we
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
gotta work it out, man.
Yeah, I think more people need to try to have calm conversations, which is of course easy for me to say, but it's
yeah.
like,
Like we gotta be adults.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a I feel like the internet, talking on the internet, Facebook, which is this is streaming on, it's just you're being puffy chested at everyone. It's performance art. That's why I'm like, yo, comedians are so goddamn dramatic when they don't get stage time.
Yeah,
They need to get their outlet. They need to get their pats on their back by saying something. And comedy, positive things is usually the go-to thing we do, but also negative things gets you attention. And it's
yeah,
like, I just go, this isn't how you solve the thing. Like, I'm sorry that you felt like you couldn't speak out, but like by doing this and then continuing to do it in this way, you're just stirring up shit that makes the other side or anyone who, it just, I don't know, it just makes the whole thing messy. And if we're in a situation where it's like peers and like you can talk to each other, we should be engaged in that.
you think it loses credibility when they're just like, is that virtue signaling? I forget what the term means.
Virtue signaling is when it's when you say something like being like, I'm, I don't know about the rest
Oh,
of
this
you,
is
but I'm
me helping
definitely
these
not
homeless
racist.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
not a rapist over here. That's what it is. And but there's a lot of that now. And I also think that like as a white dude in comedy, my first handful of years, I would have bits where I would virtue signal because I'm a loud, I yell, I got tattoos, I'm bald, everything like that. And I had to be like, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. Sexism is bad, racism is bad. I'm in a very, very liberal area. But like that's, I don't know, like talking about these things on social media, like I feel like you have two options. Either you have to virtue signal about it and go, I believe this, ah, blah, you pieces of shit. Or you have to like, if you question it or say anything about it that isn't a 100% positive, you are treated like the devil. And so it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Well, no, you said it. We're supposed to be adults. And I think that when people are at home and they're having to deal with themselves and they're like, fuck, I'm an adult. And it sucks, but hopefully they'll catch on, right? Like,
Hopefully, hopefully, I don't know. I'm trying to be a trendsetter where you're like, you guys want to talk via Zoom about difficult things?
yeah.
Vanessa, do you have any final thoughts?
um, not so much. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
There you go.
But what if, okay, but what if like you don't think you're an asshole, but someone thinks you're an asshole?
Then you're white.
No, people think I'm an asshole a lot, and I'm like, I'm really not.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
gotta
gruff.
like reevaluate your life. If that's the case. You gotta be like, damn, am I an asshole?
Yeah, I might be a dick. I might be a dick. Fair enough.
Also, I would like to clarify, I wasn't talking about me. I was just being a turd. Who
Sure.
ever calls me white? Nope, they do. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna land this plane. I appreciate both Vanessa, Tori. Appreciate you both being on here. Greg, it's great having you. They do live streaming shows here on what is it? Laugh Out Loud Comedy now. That's it. That's we switched up the name. And I'll be back next Wednesday. Greg will be back next Wednesday, and have all kinds of show on this network. If you guys enjoyed this, check out some more. There's Triple Threat on Fridays. I believe in the meantime on no Triple Threats on Thursdays, Mean Times on Fridays, and there's a bunch of other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. It's not written. I am bad at memory, but I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, if you feel like donating, go to the comics, all that fun shit, and leave you guys on a high note. Bye.
Bye.
I was at Walgreens, and there was this woman who refused to wear a mask, even though it's mandatory in my county right now. And she was being super rude to the employee there, saying, "I don't need to wear one. This is my friend layers for free." And so another lady in the store comes up and starts spraying the signature Bath and Body Works scent, warm vanilla sugar, all over her face. And was like, "Bitch, I bet you wish you were wearing a mask now." And it was crazy. But you know what? I'd do it again.